the game where things really started to go sideways with the Fizz top. We've seen I guess the RekSai top will be the only other comparable pick. Keep it coming, EDG.
Yeah, LPL's been pretty good so far in its first week. We'll see what EDG or King might be able to do here. King on the blue side, of course, for this one. LeBlanc and Azir, their first 2 bans. RekSai, Kalista going to join as well. So just strong champions being banned across the board.
See where the picks and bans go. We don't know too much about Vayne. I know he's a strong LeBlanc player, so it's an understandable ban. Alistar actually hits the pick and bans. Interesting to see if this is still the same story in a couple of weeks' time, but Alistar priority still very high.
Yep, high certainly on this patch. Gragas gets insta-locked there by King, as Huey's going to have a run at that champion. Hecarim, the last ban there for EDG, will deny it from both Cola and Amazing J. And let's just sit back and see what EDG want to pick up here.
Yeah, I mean, the Fizz in the first rotation was surprising, but we kind of expected that even though Pawn loved the Fizz, it would probably be going somewhere other than mid. They're looking over Maokai, and I saw the grimace on your face. You don't want to see any Maokai shenanigans. It's probably going to be Maokai.
I mean, nobody wants to see Amazing J play Maokai, but that's what we've got here. Koro's on the bench, bring in the Amazing J Maokai, and Def's going to go back to Sivir as well.
Remember, it could always be support Maokai.
It's true. That's true. We haven't seen the return of legendary support Maokai. Haven't seen it since Low left the OMG roster, but who knows? EDG certainly do some strange things sometimes. Coach Aaron has a lot of kooky strats cooked up, but Morgana Fizz already locked in for King. Korn's going to go back to Comfort.
Speaking of Comfort, Annie available. We're surprised to see it not locked in the first game. Annie against Morgana smells like a matchup that's not that optimal, but of course, you ever bait out that Black Shield, the same burst potential comes through. Sivir Annie is such a strong duo. The nerfs haven't come through on this patch. Clear Love Special could be in the works here. Evelyn is available, and it's locked
Yep,
in.
Evelyn hit for Clear Love once again. His Game 5 winning champion from MSI, and a love of his for so long here. And Mako going to go back to Comfort for himself as well, back on the Annie.
And look, 4 picks have only been locked in, but let me tell you, there's one theme that comes together that really meshes this team together. If it had a title, it would be called Everyone Get In Here.
Yes, lots of engage there for EDG. We talked about Sivir being the ignition energy. Yeah, the go button, the ignition energy for moving all these big tanks and engage tools in. Exactly the same thing here as we look at King. We've got the Vayne locked in actually for Ao, and they're considering a Gnar into the Maokai matchup as well. That'll be a fine top lane matchup, but Vayne had not that much success here, and that's going to be Gnar as well. But King, that is a very fragile looking lineup.
It's a daring Vayne pick. Again, a no wave clear, double assassin. I mean, Vayne's not a true assassin, but a single target, high damage threat. Fizz doesn't offer much of that sort of threat either in terms of wave clear. EDG, they could go for a skill matchup, or they could just pick Lulu to have all the wave clear in the world. That's not Pawn.
No, that isn't Pawn, but Mako going to have a bit of fun with the fans. I think Bambi's going to pick something that gets in there. Lulu, bit surprising to me, but I guess it does make sense with the rest of the comp.
Julian, pastry time car.
Yes.
Everyone is going to get in there.
Yes, that is exactly what will happen as Bambi picks up Lulu for his last pick here. I guess my biggest concern for EDG, just looking at a glance at the lineups, is where's the damage coming from?
It's not a high damage lineup, but they've got wave clear, they've got pick potential, they're strong in the mid game. This is once again going to be similar to the previous game where they didn't pick themselves into winning the mid game strategy. They've done that here, so this is going to be all about controlling the waves, going for turret dives, and more importantly, picking up the dragons and getting that win condition of just the 5 dragons.
And look, EDG is still a team that can take this sort of lineup and still, have the objective control, get their snowball going, win with these sort of champions, but it's not the same lineup as game 1. I guess we expect change here moving through as start things in the top. It's Gnar versus Maokai.
Very, very standard top lane matchup. Disappointment there, but Clear Love bringing off the MSI winning Evelyn pick. Last pick Evelyn, not so much last pick Evelyn here against Gragas. It's not quite the Nunu matchup, but it's still Evelyn.
Yep, we got Fizz versus Lulu there. Korn's Comfort versus a solid champion there for Bambi. Out on the Vayne versus Def Sivir. Be careful here, Al. I know the 1v1's not too bad, but Def, he will punish you, especially with Mako on the Annie versus the Morgana.
But it's a potential star-making performance here. Picking the Vayne into Deft is already going to be a very confidence-inducing thing. It's always going to be a difficult matchup, Vayne versus any of the traditional AD carries. It's a skill matchup against Sivir. It's a skill matchup against the best AD carry in the world. Bring it on, says Al, and it'll be exciting to see whether he can match Deft.
Yeah, just picked it in there. We'll see what it can get done, but Deft already pretty aggressive in the 2v2. We'll see if he can do it again because we're about to get into the evening's last game. And welcome onto the Rift for our final game of the evening. Still one day of this week left of the LPL, of course, tomorrow. But EDG versus King find Eggwood Gaming up a game after a blisteringly fast first game here in Clearlove over on the fancy new Thiefy Evelyn. Going to be seeing what he can get done. And again, favorite champions across the board for a lot of the players actually here. And King will see if they can even up against a strong-looking EDG despite some substitutions.
I'm spying onto the rune page that Clearlove was running. Don't see the official rune page, but I can see 32 AP and 67 AD. So he's running the very heavy AD AP rune page. Flat stats just to increase the jungle clear. After the extra 10 flat damage onto hate spikes at level 1. Since, of course, the MSI patch, Jungle Evelyn's already got a faster clear. When you add those flat stats, she can be blisteringly fast. Only the removal of Spirit Stone has truly trivialized Evelyn as a jungler, because although she has very weak base stats, Spirit Stone kind of made it so that her very high damage output gave her sustainability. Now she's going to fall low, but she's going to power farm the jungle.
And that's sort of what you have to do in the early stages anyway, because I think you described her yesterday as a brittle jungler when Kakao played her. You die quickly, but if you clear them quickly, hopefully you don't die quite as fast.
And the extra 10 damage and the flat runes will help in that particular regard. It has already skilled Q. Some people speculate that skilling E first just because you get, if you're on the other side, if you start the Krugs, then of course you get the stun so often with the extra attack speed. Given that you're starting the Grom, probably makes sense to start Q. Gonna fall low as Clearlovers want to do on the Evelyn, but we'll power farm.
Yeah, just gonna Q through these creeps as fast as you can. Huey going to try a similar thing here on the Gragas, starting Krugs with a bit of help from his bottom lane and moving into his red, so both junglers will start and end on the same side of the jungle here. And 2v2 lanes once again. Deft and Mako, they love going in on level 1, and Mako is already starting to try and punish.
That's the funny thing. It's the level 2 engage last time. We see level 1 already the damage starts. Level 1 engages have happened before in EDG games. We'll famously remember Deft playing Twitch and basically both sides being completely chunked out before minions even broke. Level 2 will be hitting the next minion, and we'll see if the all-in is on.
I mean, this is basically what EDG did in the last game here, and it's so smart. Get an advantage level 1, force them off, and just make sure you reach level 2 first. Every dual lane wants to win there as Bamey going to get aggressed on here. Huey going to come through. Good flash there to dodge the slow, and a bit of Glitter Lance damage coming through as well. But a knock-up is going to come in from the body slam, and Bamey already feeling some early pressure.
He's taken the aggressive Ignite summon as well. Try and have kill pressure onto this Fizz so it doesn't have a barrier, for example, to be defensive. Flashes down, gonna have to watch his positioning in lane with lots of gank pressure from Gragas.
Unfortunately for EDG, bottom lane just gonna have to be a bit of extra pressure. Just the edge of the boomerang blade there for Owls. He does tumble out of the first bit
Ricochet
of damage.
too.
Yeah, I mean, there's some damage coming through here, but EDG probably not gonna tower dive at level 2.
Yeah, Deft actually takes a turret hit because another Ricochet bounces twice, then hits Owl. He's so low in lane. No sustain going to come through from Morgana. Maybe has to use the heal preemptively for a bit of sustain, because if he tries to use it reactively, there is 100% going to be Ignite riding on his back.
Yeah, Deft has got that killer instinct now with that flash, and all the summoner spells up mean that you don't want to make any mistakes, because you misuse one of those spells and somebody's going to die on the bottom side. Both junglers on the top side mean though no dives or ganks coming through.
And actually a very smart ward, just because of the reduced vision of trinket wards. You have to be a bit more creative with their placement. They know that Huey's in that brush. Interested to see if any action spawns in the mid lane.
Flash forward there. There's the first blood for Deft, and Mako pulls the trigger instantly. Huey going to die as well as Bamey gets the kill. Clearlove's around. Korn will get the kill onto Bamey, but Clearlove going to try and chase in. Urchin Strike going to keep him alive, but Clearlove, good counter gank, gets the 1v1 trade.
2 for 1 is the trade, and that's why I say use the heal proactively. Usually it feels bad to sustain yourself with summoner heal, but you have to do it when Flash, Ignite, and a stun is available on a support Annie. You take the case. You went for the Vayne against Sivir. You take the consequences.
Yeah, and you can see why Mako's Annie is so feared and revered by so many players here in the LPL, especially combined with Deft. If they find a single second to kill you, they will do it.
And it's just not being respected. Remember, it was banned, I believe, 9 games in a row between World Elite, Invictus Gaming, and some of the tail-end games of the LPL Spring Split. This is something to be feared. Maybe on 5.9 you can argue that some of the auto attacks won't be there, so you won't be as chipped down. The all-in won't be as strong. But I have a bet. I'm going to be a betting man and say that Mako will still find a way to make Annie work.
I mean, you know what? All of the spells still in there, and he's still got the Great Engage, so I think so, as well as Huey does spot the Trinket Ward there that Bamey just placed down, but a good pink ward going to keep him relatively safe as Korn returns with a fairly even CS score in the mid lane.
I mean, 22 to 27 with Flash being down early just shows the strength of Lulu's wave clear. Has had to respect this Gragas, and Huey's been pitching a tent in the mid lane, but no massive kill pressure being called. There's a 1-for-1 trade. Korn has double buffs, so Bamey just has to play passively.
Good bit of poke, but going to try and wave clear it back out as well. Actually tags him with the end of a good Lancera's Def comes in and stops Al from freezing this wave any longer.
No free orders.
Yeah, no free minions either here as Def going in. They're actually trading a little unfavorably there with the level 2 silver bolts, but without Mako here, especially with Morgana coming back, a bit trickier for him to go all in like that.
And he's going to re-enter lane. No Flash and Ignite available, but will be soon. They're going aggressively.
Yeah, Mako really wants a good binding from SinkDream to keep him back there, but Mako, again, he's never afraid to go in. Doesn't even have his Flash, but he is walking towards you aggressively, and look at that damage. Goes in so far just for poke. In fact, there's the Ignite down as well. Mako, maybe a bit too far. There's the first kill for Al, and that was a mistake.
That was just lazy play from Mako. He's being overly aggressive to a fault and paid for it. Korn is trying to go in aggressively, but he's being baited.
Clearlove's level 6. Huey's here as well, but so is Clearlove. Good fish from Korn's going to give the kill. Now it's 1v2 for Clearlove. Going to try and get the damage done with Evelyn, but doesn't have enough, and a beautiful counter gank by Huey.
The Agony's Embrace was available, but crucially, the Wild Growth was not from Lulu's. They get the kill and get out. Well played, King. EDG, they're playing a bit too cute, and finally, King have found a way to punish them.
Yeah, Huey on the Gragas getting a lot of early work done here, and the misstep in the bottom side means that Deft is going to go in 1v2, has that spell shield ready, but doesn't quite fancy it at this point. Doesn't have very much mana left here, so has to be a bit careful. Probably baiting SinkDream just for a bit of extra mana, but Al, he'll play it safe here. He knows he already got an advantage, doesn't want to throw it away.
Absolutely. He's finally got a window back into this lane. He never got one in game 1. He was basically gifted one for some poor play from Mako. He's just going to be smartly back, work towards his Bilgewater Cutlass, you'd have to imagine. Not a lot of power there, so maybe just a couple of longswords, but no, just a Vampiric Scepter. Definitely not a big buy like the pickaxe that Civ has already picked up.
Bamey going to keep wave clearing there as well. Actually has an early null magic mantle, so wants to shake off some of the early Fizz damage. Kong with a Shane is going to start doing respectable burst in the lane there as well. And you can see Al going to go back, get a Vampiric Scepter. That's a nice little pickup, but Double Dorans is a bit of an emergency build, and I can't blame him after the first all-in.
Exactly. It's full sustain build to what, 16% lifesteal if he's not being harassed, but we're not talking about poke trades. It's going to be all-in trades. The moment that 6 is pinged on Mako, you expect the Flash Tibbers to come through. Bamey can obviously naturally itemize a null magic mantle towards what will be an Athene's for cooldown reduction in the mid. So just starting with the expensive purchase, going to work on that mana regen later.
Good stuff there coming in from Bamey is Clearlove still level 7 now. Actually finished his Rangers Trailblazer plus the Warrior Enchant, so ready to get aggressive as he wants.
He's the same level as everyone else, as the Solar.
Oh, Clearlove gets fished there. Korn, good flash there after it. Clearlove going to get cleanly 1v1, trying to clear a pink ward. Very smart stuff from Korn.
Yeah, smart play from Korn. This is not a Korn that we saw throughout the LPL spring whatsoever. Much more aggression, controlled aggression as well. Playing a champion like Fizz, much more proactive than some of the Luxes and Orianas of the world that he played both last game and traditionally last season. Good to see.
And he was a classic Fizz player for a long time. They're up there with White's, the old school Fizz player, back from the old Royal Club actually that Korn used to be on. So he does know the champion. It's one of his favorites, I believe, but I agree. I like seeing him back on the Assassins.
It doesn't necessarily fit the comp that well, so there may be a tipping point where the lack of wave clear will be punished, but even getting to feast on the high-leveled Clearlove, picking up quite a lot of experience and gold from that particular kill credit, things working out so far for Korn.
Mako level 6, so might just go straight in on the bottom lane. Huey looking for another gank here, but isn't quite going to find it. Bamey with the ulti and the flash up. Going to be a pretty tricky person to kill, but I think he wants to kill Clearlove.
Huey doesn't spot him out. Of course, not RekSai, so no tremor senses available. They scurry past each other like sails in the wind. Is that the term? I guessed that one. Went through it.
Yep, that's fine. Nailed it. As Korn is going to look in again. I like this move from King. Is Bamey going to be the target? Actually, Clearlove also there, but now Korn's going to catch him out. Good ulti there. Going to split Clearlove up. Agony's Embrace does work, though, and Clearlove gets his revenge, gets the kill onto Huey. Going to chase Korn down here now as well. That's massive damage with the Warrior, and you can see Evelyn does not muck about. Good ult there from Bamey, and he's going to secure himself a kill.
Surprising that Korn couldn't find a way out. It looked like he was going to juke towards the blue buff, but still punished from Bamey. Very nice set of kills. And that's what happens when you have the Warrior enchant. Suddenly the damage goes up and skyrockets for Clearlove on the Evelynn.
And I feel like it's been a while since people played against Warrior enchant, but Evelynn especially, so much early damages. Def could be in trouble. Good flash and the ulti used by Ow. Gonna go in, gets the kill, maybe Mako comes in. Heal at the last second, saves Deft, and now SinkDream gonna get chased down, and Deft always on point with summoner spells.
Deft is the god of summoner spells. You never think he has them. You don't think they're up because it's literally as the auto attack is traveling that he pulls off that heal. A lot of players have been guilty of just going for the auto they know will kill that Vayne or whatever champion Deft is on, or walk backwards and then go, wait, he's still alive.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened there. Mako coming in with a clutch ulti there as well on the Annie to buy them enough time, and Deft, I thought he was dead there once again, going to give away a kill, but instead finds himself 2-0 up in the lane.
Gets a snowball Avarice Blade. Didn't have enough gold for the BS, so it's an Avarice Blade pick, so Avarice Gold boots. It's not the biggest power jump, but it's a bit more farm.
I think he's saving gold, actually, because he went. That was his last pickup, I believe. So, again, going for the early Avarice Blade. Doesn't quite have enough for big ticket items, but we'll be there soon enough, especially if that keeps happening.
Korn just out of vision of that Trinket Ward. Hasn't been spotted. Now is spotted.
Yeah, Amazing J. Good sapling going to keep him safe, but being a little down here in the matchup. Hex Trinket for the Gnar, just a Catalyst double. Doran's Amazing J. Yeah, needs to be careful. Amazing J pops his ulti, does keep them away. Clearlove running in as well. Mako's actually navigated to the top side of the map as well. So Amazing J very safe with all his friends joining him in the top lane.
And that's the thing. You look at these members. We've got Mobility Boots, Annie, Whimsy that Lulu can apply to herself, and Evelynn is already super, super quick to just use that W. Doesn't need to be invisible when she's trying to provide emergency assistance. Lots of speed ups means that EDG can be ever present across the map.
Yeah, and Deft 1v2 right now was comfy in the 1v1. Now Mako with the Moby Boots ticking away, going to run down to the bottom side. Yep, no ulti, that's important, but does have a stun ready to go. Does want to use it, actually gets on the SinkDream, forces the Black Shield out. Evelynn's here as well. SinkDream takes way too much damage. Al gets Agony's Embrace with a beautifully placed ult by Clearlove, who gets the second kill.
Clearlove is making this Evelynn work. This was never his MO. Actually has a Sheen for more damage on top of the Warrior. Not going for a random second or any semblance of tankiness. Trinity Force may be too expensive, maybe too much of a luxury build, but still a possibility.
I mean, we'll see, but it's paying off nicely so far with the Warrior enchant and the Sheen. Going to mean good dragon damage now as well, as EDG will take away their first. And I think Clearlove feels offended getting killed for the first time there in the game, because he's gone back with a vengeance now. 2-1-3 in this game.
And often Evelynn is typified as a low damage champion. In the late game, it's potential just because she's a melee champion that needs time to do consistent damage. But if you build enough damage, whether it's Trinity Force or full ability power, which we're probably not going to see given the Warrior enchant, you do a lot of mid-game damage.
You do, and it's nice. She's relatively tanky, does still do sustained damage though, but put that out the window for now. Clearlove's just all early game damage so far. Again, junglers have not been playing Warrior for the last few weeks, almost 2 months it feels like. So bringing them back, you mentioned it yesterday, I believe, as Warrior starts to fade back and people have to relearn. You die really quickly to these high damage junglers.
You have to relearn warding against Evelynn. You need to relearn Alistar's strengths and weaknesses. That's what the meta changes. That's why League of Legends is such a fascinating game, is that champions that don't necessarily have target buffs or nerfs just pop up again. You're like, wait, why was this person good? What did we do against them? And it takes time for teams to pick up on that because they've seen so much of the Maokais versus the world. We've all seen Azir versus Xerath for a good 3 months and far, far too long in the middle lane. But it's going to be Trinity Force from Clearlove. You asked where the damage is going to come from. This is a carry build from Clearlove, and he's got the Whimsy. He's got the wild growth potential in his pocket to just be a melee assassin.
Love to see it there from Clearlove. Going carry mode here in this game. Done it before from the jungle, sometimes on the tanks, just as some big plays on the ultis like Sejuani, but love that he's really putting the team on his back here. And EDG find themselves about 2,500, 3,000 gold ahead as Korn. Going to get himself a blue buff, but no other major objectives to take right now.
You were correct. There's the Berserker Grease and the BF Sword now finished for Def, so he was saving gold, has enough for that big, big purchase. Al went for the big plays. He went for the Vayne, and it looked good at some points. He got that nice kill onto Deft, but a nice kill onto Mako, but 1-3-0, and now with the item disadvantage, probably just no way back into this lane.
Yeah, it was a bit of a full Vayne moment there for Al, but Def with some very strong use of summoner spells, able to give himself the kill and the advantage. You can see the dual lane for King are constantly leaving here as EDG going to start to rotate down and take some turrets. Clearlove might have caught out someone, does get spotted off by the ward there as SinkDream just in vision, so at least get the notification. And we'll back away from Clearlove.
Clearlove just keeps power farming, gets the Krugs through quite happily. Amazing J, happen quite frequently, is all alone.
Gonna get dove again here. Ulti
Wow.
dodged there by Twisted Advance. Amazing Day does get Fish, so ulti ticking away. Still not quite enough as Kohler taking up the turrets, and he does go down, but he deserves so much credit for that play.
The split timing to Twisted Advance to go untied.
Oh, goodbye, Al. Clearlove gets the kill. Even through the condemn, and towers are falling left, right, and center, by the way. Amazing J buys so much time with that play.
It was just such split timing. You're untargetable for, what, half a second or less during that Twisted Advance? Made it look easy.
He did indeed. An Amazing J continuing to make amazing plays here. It's not Fizz this time, but Maokai 0-1 and 0. Not a massive score. 142 CS in a slightly soft matchup for you. Or slightly hard matchup for you, I should say, there with the Gnar. Not the best score ever, but he'll take it, even on a role player like Maokai.
And that's the thing. The unique thing about Amazing J is that he can make plays on champions that we've seen so often. How many times do we get excited about a Maokai play? Maybe a very smart strategic play like a teleport, home guard, engage. But in terms of lane mechanics, we've seen a couple of times Twisted Advance come up big. That's the big outplay mechanic, and he just did it perfectly.
He did indeed. As Clearlove going to power down his red buff now as well. Deft is rotating back into the top side, going to take that last turret. They've got 3 already with 1 in the mid and 2 in the bottom, and it's back to Corky rotations here for EDG, just with Sivir instead.
It's the global gold that's the big winner for EDG. It's 6,000 gold, even though the kill score is quite similar. It's only a dragon in the pocket of EDG, but 3 turrets to 1 is the big factor. And Clearlove is huge. He's the highest level in the game, joint with Vayne.
I mean, Clearlove does get a lot of gold from his team, but this is a whole different take on giving Clearlove a lot of gold.
And that's the thing. He has a very high KDA, so it'd be easy to say, okay, he's got a lot of gold because he gets a lot of kills and assists, but it's actually a high amount of percentage gold. It's not the Clearlove of old that used to just pick up lane farm like maybe Diamond many years ago. He actually just gets it stealthily, just picks up a couple of creeps here and there, but it adds up. He gets a high percentage of gold, but he knows how to use it, whether it's the Sejuani or a true carry, melee carry performance like this. Giving gold to Clearlove, it's always been a good strategy, and EDG have found a way to do it without actually holding back their game plan and still playing objective-focused League of Legends.
They have, and a lot of that for me is Pawn's really just intelligent and creative play, and Bamey playing a similar sort of utility style role again. Not to say that Pawn also can't hard carry games, and that's the scary thing for EDG. It's just threats across the board, and even these new substitutes looking rather threatening as well.
You just look back at those games and you wonder, when did Clearlove get this gold? It's literally when Pawn packs up shop level 9 and says, I'm going to roam with Cassin on a Sheen. He roams so much, and that's when Clearlove picks up the farm. But they get things off the roams. They're smart about communication. They're very good at using their targeted CC. A lot of Maokai, no coincidence there. You can make a lot of things happen with the targeted Twisted Advance. And that works for EDG. They get that little bit of an edge on their jungler. He wins the duels when he chooses to play aggressively. Always been a smart, clever player. The aggressive side is what's coming out, and it's exciting to see.
It is, and with Dragon up in 30 seconds or so, it's a good time to check in on some of these items. We've got a Righteous Glory done for Amazing J, and with the Merc Treads, Trinity Force already done at 18.5 minutes. That's better than most 80 carry item timings for that.
Well, I mean, Vayne doesn't have a blade.
No, Vayne's in trouble here, as Deft is just going to ultimate down. Can't quite see it. There's Mako with a pink ward. Comes in with a stun. Goodbye, Ow. And that's an easy dragon for Edward Gaming.
Very, very easy. Clearlove is so strong, so strong. You cannot face check whether it's the Annie or the Evelynn. The burst damage will be off the charts. Full damage Clearlove on Evelynn. Much more fun than the build. He was forced to break out at MSI.
It is, but just watch this dragon melt as well. Huey going to be in the area. Maybe think about a contest, but very scary to fight EDG at this stage of the game. And Clearlove gets on top of the dragon and just eats it.
Absolutely. We're talking about 500 damage every 3 seconds when the Trinity Force proc comes off, and the Warrior enchantment, even more damage on those Triforce buffed auto attacks. They keep pushing in. Everyone get in here was the summary, and that's exactly what's been happening.
That is indeed. Mako's Annie usually signals one thing, and it's aggression, and everything else on this team supplements it. And EDG, are they seriously going to walk over to Baron?
Righteous Glory. I mean, Evelynn's very quick. Whimsy will help. Sivir with the On the Hunt. 4-0-1 casually is deft after Mako donated a kill to Vayne earlier in the matchup. Honestly, Corn's performed very, very well. It's going to be one of those situations where Fed Fizz, what's a boy to do against this comp?
I mean, Deft's going to go back to the top side. Blue will get stolen away. Huey going to try and make something happen, but Mako throws in a stun. That's a good ulti, actually. Clearlove will get caught there. Con finds a fish onto Bamey. Clearlove little too far forward maybe here. Baron does spawn there, but Kohler building up rage here. Deft, though, too threatening with the Infinity Edge and the Zeal plus Avarice Blade already, and King almost had a good window there.
And no teleport used from Maokai either. They're finally going to take this last outer turret to move up to 4 turrets all in all. They already have an inner turret in the bottom lane. Mason J keeps pushing quite happily. The recalls are on, I imagine, for gold values, but Vayne just try and cause as much disruption in mid lane and try and get some turret damage. Nope, not safe.
Yeah, Luden's done for Bamey. Ninja Tubby there coming through for Clearlove. Deft not quite going back, but probably has enough for at least the static shift now as well. Everyone is picking up some items, and I wasn't kidding when I said Baron before. EDG usually like taking around 25 minutes. I would not be surprised to see them run there.
Hard to take Baron without Maokai actually being there to tank it up, and once Maokai exits the map, it's going to be, why is the teleport grouped? That's the big question mark there. Because Clearlove's gone full damage build, the jungler's not really in a position to take Baron, as he just eliminates the Raptor.
I mean, he's going to destroy the Baron if he gets on top of it, but you're right. Needs someone to help tank it. Baron does do pretty silly damage, but EDG, they don't need much to try and take a Baron, as they might even go for Huey here, but instead, he's going to clear out some vision, and King know it. They're like, we really need to get vision around Baron.
I mean, the sneakiest thing that EDG could do is literally to Tibbers the Baron, have that tank it, and they have so much damage, they could probably kill it during the duration of the super tanky Tibbers, specifically around level 11, because I believe level on level you get 1,000 extra health on the Tibbers. Very relevant when it's tanking Baron.
I want that so bad now.
Is that what you want to see?
That's all I want to see. I don't think I've ever seen that one before, but that's all I want now. Is another tower. It does go down to EDG. They've got plenty of vision here. They actually spotted Korn, I believe, hanging out a little too far in the enemy jungle. So we'll see if they can catch someone out. And even Huey looking to ward Korn. He wants to flank this.
Absolutely. Korn's looking for any exit kill. He knows red buff spawns, so someone's going to walk up there for the red buff. But EDG, will it be Deft?
I mean, Deft is going to face Jake Mako in there as well. Korn, oh, good ward there. Great dodge there. Deft Quankai dodged it actually, but the spell shield, I think, ate a good wild growth there from Bamey, and Korn is going to go down there. Cola hopping in as well. Flash out from Clearlove. He's too low. Will go down there to the Gragas. Is now Al popped his ulti, going to go back in. Cola, massive flash shot there. Gets onto 2. Deft turns around. He wants it. He's going to go in. Does get the kill onto Al. Stays alive somehow, and Mako kiting as best he can with the help of Bamey. Tibbers also trying to help him out. Mako gets low, might go down here. Deft still chasing in. The shields from Bamey doing so much work. Amazing Days poured it in as well. Deft flashes out of the boomerang, gets the fadeaway kill, and an amazing team fight from Edward Gaming.
And 4v5 right till the last was that team fight. Amazing Jay, even with teleport, couldn't get anywhere near the fight. Finally showed up just to put the cherry on top. EDG win another fight. Just again, majestic use of the summoners from Deft. They pile on the gold. We're going to see the replay coming through. Deft actually spell shields nothing at all. The engage almost takes him down, but of course Wild Growth adds all the effective health. Weaves in and out, getting extra health. Remember, Maokai's not involved in this fight at this present point.
Clearlove's dead.
And Clearlove's already dead. It was actually looking a bit hairy, but they turn back onto Al after a huge Gnar ultimate. Watch this trade from Deft. He loses vision, but managed to just get vision at the last. No critical strike coming through from this build. I mean, he's able to live, and finally Maokai slowly lumbers in. It's health bars, but Mako, watch the pathing. He's very clever and moving around, just baiting Cola in as much as possible. Even Deft has to flash away. He would have died to that boomerang toss. Beautiful, beautiful team fighting from EDG.
It was just elegant and lovely to behold here. It's 10,000 gold now at EDG ahead. Dragons up in a minute 20, but after that, I don't know what else we can have to top this game, Bubba Smithy, because that was a gorgeous team fight.
The scary thing is that King haven't even played badly. They've played quite well. They were probably too reckless in their bottom lane choice, but maybe you need to be brazen and try and take it to death rather than just passively losing in this lane. No pick available from Mako in that situation. I'm not a big fan of the no wave clear. If they'd gone for a more standard AD carry like a Lucian, for example, I think it would have done well. But there's Whimsy.
Clearlove touching in. Whimsy not enough as Clearlove gets ulted out by Huey. Amazing J runs through. Deft pops his ulti, but EDG will this time find no kills.
Hal wasn't actually there. Would have been a 5v4 if they were able to force it. Very good strategic use of the Black Shield. Clearlove's still looking for an engage.
He's going to find SinkDream, but does get spotted out there. Instant Black Shield from SinkDream as Smart and King just cleaning vision out of their own jungle now.
For once, EDG's wave's not very well organized. Al's been able to slow push in mid. The bottom wave's actually pushing towards EDG's turrets, so that's good for King. They've organized a minion wave push in top, and they're just poking around mid, trying to get some sort of pick around Baron.
Yeah, EDG are aggressively forcing a fight here. They want King to come to them because they know they're strong enough to win a team fight. Al desperately trying to find farm instead, and the blue buff's going to get stolen away.
Blue buff stolen away, but still no Titanic advantage to EDG. They have the gold, but they're still trying to be clever about how they force a fight. In and out. Looks like a couple of connection problems, though, and a pause has been engaged.
Yep, so we have a bit of time as the breaks go off ever so slightly from what's been a pretty hectic series, honestly. Not even just a game here in the second one. Clearlove looking very focused, as always, there, and in charge of his team and himself.
I mean, going for the carry build on Evelynn looked good at the start, although does have that propensity to explode if you don't get enough of the members of Agony's Embrace. It adds effective health depending on how many members you hit. I believe at this point, 225 health a member. Looking a lot of aggression. Righteous Glory pops.
Amazing J finds Kohler, but he's sort of caught out on his own here. Doesn't go in any deeper, though. And with the Dragon back up here, EDG might just try and force for their third. They really want King to fight them.
I mean, third Dragon, 5% more movement speed with a million movement speed augmenters will be very, very relevant. They've started the Dragon. It's on King on whether they want to fight, but they don't have a lot of good team fight initiating options, and they just have to back away.
Yeah, can't really fight that one. Clearlove will have a smite back up in about 10 seconds as well. And so King are going to go back to the Baron dance here. And they can't keep bleeding objectives here. Third Dragon's not too bad to give away, but King, they're starting to run out of options. They, in fact, may have already be in that situation.
It's definitely the closest feeling 10,000 gold lead we've seen in the 2015 season. Looking for the pick on Amazing J.
That's a lot of good damage. King starting it off nicely. Kohler, Rage Bar
Evelynn's
fills up.
coming in.
Oh, Death's flanking as well. Clearlove trying to find the target. Ulti is popped. Three-man Agony's Embrace. Clearlove destroys that carry. Korn goes down. Kohler's in the back line trying to die, but they're kiting wonderfully, and Al can't do anything against the Evelynn as Bamey flashes in for a slow. Kohler's dead there as well. The last one to fall is Huey. No, SinkDream, I tell a lie. Still alive, but 4-for-0. What a close there by Edward Gaming.
Everyone got in there instantly with the Righteous Glory Whimsy. Just the W from Evelynn. The burst damage onto Al was disgusting. It prompts the surrender. Feels a little bit early, but honestly, it was going to be another win from EDG. And GG Warplay to this team, the MSI champions, new roster, looking the same level of quality.
I mean, they've got the same starting roster, but fielding some very good-looking subs here. Amazing J in both games over Koro comes as a surprise, and Bamey slotting into the mid lane for Pawn there in game 2. And honestly, teams barely look different from their MSI performance.
And Amazing J, he's got the crazy, but he can play the standard just fine. Even impressed us with his twisted advanced mechanics. A lot of other Maokai players wouldn't have got that split timing because it's such a short timing window to actually dodge a skill shot in that manner. EDG looking very, very strong. King, again, I think we'll have to reserve judgment. It's crazy that the former Starhorn Royal Club lineup gets another chance in the LPL, and still we don't see the lineup actually cemented as we would expect it, but a bow comes through to EDG. We feel like we should be bowing to them given how great their performance has been recently, but EDG, excellent play.
Yep, not letting their foot off the pedal. Didn't do it in the spring season. Haven't done it through MSI. And it's another great fun game. And still showing at the end of that second game especially, it's just so good at team fighting.
And now Clearlove doesn't even need to get token Evelynn games. Evelynn's back in the meta. He can play it whenever he wants.
Well, Clearlove can do whatever he wants. We do, of course, have more games tomorrow. So join us again for more LPL. But we are done for the evening. So for myself, Papa Smidley, Atlas Rusty, and our entire live production crew, we'll see you tomorrow for more Week 1.
It could always be support Maokai.
It's true. That's true. We haven't seen the return of legendary support Maokai. Haven't seen it since Low left the OMG roster, but who knows? EDG certainly do some strange things sometimes. Coach Aaron has a lot of kooky strats cooked up, but Morgana Fizz already locked in for King. Korn's going to go back to Comfort.
Speaking of Comfort, Annie available. We're surprised to see it not locked in the first game. Annie against Morgana smells like a matchup that's not that optimal, but of course, you ever bait out that black shield, the same burst potential comes through. Sivir Annie is such a strong duo. The nerfs haven't come through on this patch. Clearlove special could be in the works here. Evelynn is available, and it's locked in.
Yep, Evelynn hit for Clearlove once again. His Game 5 winning champion from MSI, and a love of his for so long here. And Mako going to go back to Comfort for himself as well, back on the Annie.
And look, 4 picks have only been locked in, but let me tell you, there's one theme that comes together that really meshes this team together. If it had a title, it would be called Everyone Get In Here.
Yes, lots of engage there for EDG. We talked about Sivir being the ignition energy. Yeah, the go button, the ignition energy for moving all these big tanks and engage tools in.
And more importantly, picking up the dragons and getting that win condition of just the 5 dragons.
And look, EDG is still a team that can take this sort of lineup and still, have the objective control, get their snowball going, win with these sort of champions, but it's not the same lineup as game 1. I guess we expect change here moving through as start things in the top. It's Gnar versus Maokai.
Very, very standard top lane matchup. Disappointment there, but ClearLove bringing off the MSI winning Evelynn pick. Last pick Evelynn, not so much last pick Evelynn here against Gragas. Not quite the Nunu matchup, but it's still Evelynn.
Yeah, we got Fizz versus Lulu there. Korn's Comfort versus a solid champion there for Bamey. Out on the Vayne versus Def Sivir. Be careful here, Al. I know the 1v1's not too bad, but Def, he will punish you, especially with Mako on the Annie versus the Morgana.
But it's a potential star-making performance here. Picking the Vayne into Deft is already going to be a very confidence-inducing thing. It's always going to be a difficult matchup, Vayne versus any of the traditional AD carries. It's a skill matchup against Sivir. It's a skill matchup against the best AD carry in the world. Bring it on, says Al, and it'll be exciting to see whether he can match Deft.
Yeah, just picked it in there. We'll see what he can get done, but Deft already pretty aggressive in the 2v2. We'll see if he can do it again because we're about to get into the evening's last game. Exactly the same thing here as we look at King. We've got the Vayne locked in actually for Al, and they're considering a Gnar into the Maokai matchup as well. That'll be a fine top lane matchup, but Vayne had not that much success here, and that's going to be Gnar as well. But King, that is a very fragile looking lineup.
It's a daring Vayne pick. Again, a no wave clear double assassin. I mean, Vayne's not a true assassin, but single target, high damage threat. Fizz doesn't offer much of that sort of threat either in terms of wave clear. EDG, they could go for a skill matchup, or they could just pick Lulu to have all the wave clear in the world. That's not porn.
No, that isn't porn, but Mako going to have a bit of fun with the fans. I think Bamey's going to pick something that help, gets in there. Lulu, bit surprising to me, but I guess it does make sense with the rest of the comp.
Julian, pastry time car.
Yes.
Everyone is going to get in there.
Yes, that is exactly what will happen as Bamey picks up Lulu for his last pick here. I guess my biggest concern for EDG, just looking at a glance at the lineups, is where's the damage coming from?
It's not a high damage lineup, but they've got wave clear, they've got pick potential, they're strong in the mid game. This is once again going to be similar to the previous game where they didn't pick themselves into winning the mid game strategy. They've done that here, so this is going to be all about controlling the waves, going for turret.
And welcome onto the Rift for our final game of the evening. Still one day of this week left of the LPL, of course, tomorrow. But EDG versus King find Eggwood Gaming up a game after a blisteringly fast first game here in ClearLove over on the fancy new Thiefy Evelynn. Going to be seeing what he can get done. And again, favorite champions across the board for a lot of the players actually here. And King will see if they can even up against a strong-looking EDG despite some substitutions.
I'm spying onto the rune page that ClearLove was running. Don't see the official rune page, but I can see 32 AP and 67 AD. So he's running the very heavy AD AP rune page. Flat stats just to increase the jungle clear. After the extra 10 flat damage onto hate spikes at level 1. Since, of course, the MSI patch, Jungle Evelynn's already got a faster clear. When you add those flat stats, she can be blisteringly fast. Only the removal of Spirit Stone has truly trivialized Evelynn as a jungler, because although she has very weak base stats, Spirit Stone kind of made it so that her very high damage output gave her sustainability. Now she's going to fall low, but she's going to power the game where things really start to go sideways with the Fizz top. We've seen I guess the RekSai top will be the only other comparable pick. Keep it coming, EDG.
Yeah, LPL's been pretty good so far in its first week. We'll see what EDG or King might be able to do here. King on the blue side, of course, for this one. LeBlanc and Azir, their first 2 bans. RekSai, Kalista going to join as well. So just strong champions being banned across the board.
To see where the picks and bans go. We don't know too much about Bamey. I know he's a strong LeBlanc player, so it's an understandable ban. Alistar actually hits the pick and bans. Interesting to see if this is still the same story in a couple of weeks' time, but Alistar priority still very high.
Yep, high certainly on this patch. Gragas gets insta-locked there by King, as Huey's going to have a run at that champion. Hecarim, the last ban there for EDG, will deny it from both Cola and Amazing J. And let's just sit back and see what EDG want to pick up here.
Yeah, I mean, the Fizz in the first rotation was surprising, but we kind of expected that even though Pawn loved the Fizz, it would probably be going somewhere other than mid. They're looking over Maokai, and I saw the grimace on your face. You don't want to see any Maokai shenanigans. It's probably going to be Maokai.
I mean, nobody wants to see Amazing J play Maokai, but that's what we've got here. Koro's on the bench, bring in the Amazing J Maokai, and Def's going to go back to Sivir as well.
Remember,